Hi everyone, I'm Janet Haines of the Digital Imaging Group. In this short video, you will hear about the new programme we've launched, From Seed to Bloom. This is a year-long project focusing on plant, flower and garden photography. If you choose to engage in the project, this could support you in entering the Royal Horticultural Society photographic portfolio in 2025. But you take from the project whatever works for you. My committee colleague, Melanie Chalk, is to be thanked for working so hard to pull this all together for you. It is a pick and mix project where you choose which workshops, talks, walks you wish to book in for. To help you decide which to book, we thought it would be useful if we briefly meet the various tutors and presenters and ask each of them what their session will cover. Firstly, let's chat to Celia Henderson, who many of you will already know from her highly popular workshops that she runs for the Digital Imaging Group. Hi, Celia. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. Hi. Thank you, Janet. Hello.
Hi. What we know so far, Celia, is that you are running monthly workshops as part of the project. How will this work and what will the participants get from attending these?
Well, let me explain. The Seed to Bloom programme aligns so perfectly with my approach to photography and post-processing, which I call the see, take, make process. So when planning any image capture, we start by visualising the end results. And then what we want to show to the camera judges, our colleagues, our followers on social media, but most importantly to ourselves. So when you first look at your scene or subject or peek through the viewfinder, what image are you visualizing? And once you've finished the image and you have it in your sight, rather, that will lead us on to the take stage. The what equipment, lens, camera settings, backgrounds, compositions, lighting do we need? And before you even click the shutter button, I want us to think about reflecting on the third stage, the features and magic that can be applied from the post-processing software. So let me answer Janet's question properly. So whether you're seeking to create a sharp botanical study, a still life, a competition entry, or a dreamy watercolour painting, this new series of workshops, part of the Seed to Bloom programme, will select one or more seasonal flower each month, and I'll guide you through the see, take, make workflow. And with each workshop putting seasonal flowers in the limelight, we'll put our vision plan to the test, consider how to best capture the shots, and which tools will be required to complete the post-processing workflow, so that you're fully prepared and motivated to capture the tulips of spring, the sweet peas of summer, the glorious dahlias and Rebecca of the autumn, and then the resilient snowdrops in the winter. Let me just say a few more words, if you don't mind. As Janet mentioned, many of you may have already attended some of the DI workshops I have the privilege of delivering, where the focus is on what we can achieve in Photoshop. So the difference with these workshops is the starting point. I'll keep referring to the importance of visualization, but let me expand a little on that and include approach. So do you see a low-key image? Do you see a botanical representation of your subject? Perhaps you can see a soft and floaty single bluebell stem, or a whole woodland of bluebells represented as a watercolour painting. I can get very enthusiastic about different approaches. So the approach to the subject could be just something, a secret or hidden in your viewfinder, perhaps something where we could use shoot-through techniques. So once you've planned the outcome, then we'll discuss the right equipment, composition, viewpoint, etc. And then the best part, for me anyway, is planning how we're going to process. And of course, we'll look in detail at getting the best out of the raw data, but you'll already have a really clear idea of which post-processing tools you're going to need to achieve the masterpiece. So just to summarise, each month, using a seasonal flower or flowers as the vehicle, we'll discuss several potential photography approaches, how to capture, and then a whole variety of different post-processing techniques. Sorry, Janet, that was a very long answer to a very short question.
That's fine, because it's given us a really good idea about the workshops. And I think that's a really interesting approach. And I love the idea that you're featuring seasonal flowers each month, because that really keeps us sort of focused on the time of year that we're in at that point in time. And who knows, I might even find a way of, at last, photographing sweet peas as beautifully as you do.
I'm happy to share all of my tips and tricks.
Okay, so thanks, Celia. Thank you very much indeed for your time. And we look forward to seeing you throughout the programme throughout the year. So
Lovely.
thanks for now. Bye.
Thank you, Janet. Bye-bye.
Okay, so let's move on now to our second presenter, and that's Charles Needle. So welcome back to working with us, Charles, and thank you for engaging with our From Seed to Bloom project.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
For those of you who don't already know Charles, he is a US-based full-time professional flower and garden photographer who lives in Colorado, USA. I reckon we're going to be keeping you pretty busy in the next coming months here, Charles, because we've got a good program with you doing lots of things. So starting off with a webinar in May the 4th. Without giving too much away, do give us a brief overview of what we can expect to hear and see that will inspire us.
Sure. So I've titled the webinar Creative Flower and Garden Photography. That will include plants as well. And my hope is to inspire people to go beyond pure documentation when it comes to photographing flowers up close, as well as more intimate landscapes of gardens. I'll be talking about things like multiple exposures and intentional camera movement, and with macro, different tools you can use to take your close-up photography beyond pure documentation. So very excited. The timing, of course, is perfect with everything coming into bloom now.
Okay, that sounds really great and should attract us a nice big audience for that meeting. And we will record it. So if you can't make the day or the time, then do register anyway and you'll get the recording link in a follow-up email. So next in Charles's program with us, we come to something really special, a guided workshop with Charles and his wife, Melissa, who is also a very experienced photographer. And they're going to take a group of people around the RHS Wisley on June the 4th. What will members attending that get and expect to come away with, Charles?
So I'm very excited to be at Wisley for one day only. It's right before flying back here to the US. And I'm going to be sharing hands-on techniques that I described in the first webinar presentation, where you'll get a chance to try a lot of these things with me right there beside you, helping you with all the different camera settings and the technical aspects, as well as how to find and photograph an intimate garden scape and things like that. And also some help with close-ups and, getting close-up photography, something you're not only comfortable with, but one that you can go beyond just here is a flower or here is a plant, and ways to make creative images of close-ups as well. So it'll be a jam-packed day, lots to cover. But I'm so excited, and to have the opportunity to do hands-on with me, I think will be a special treat for people.
I reckon it will too. I just wish I lived close enough to make it. But anybody that lives around the M25 area, absolutely perfect. So there'll be information on the website about that. And I'm sure the people that will join you on that event will have a great time. My understanding is you're also going to be running a series of iPhone app sessions for us. And that is, although it's not entirely based on flower work, it will actually help with our flower work. So can you sort of give us a little bit of an overview of what you might cover on those sessions, please, Charles?
Sure. So the first one will be on the 11th of June, and I've titled that one Editing Wow iPhone Images. And my wife, Melissa, who is, as you said, an accomplished photographer in her own right, especially when it comes to iPhone photography, she will walk us through, the both of us will walk you through ways to edit your images once you've made your photos on a phone, or it could even be an image you made with your big girl or big boy camera that you brought into your phone. and we'll cover some of the apps that are out there for editing. One of the most popular apps is called Snapseed, and it's available for Android as well as iPhone. So don't be afraid to attend that session, even if you've only got an Android phone. Both phones are wonderful. It's just the app developers are making apps for iPhone more so than the Android phones these days. But we'll cover both. And so that first one will be all about editing your images. And then the second one is going to happen on the 24th of July. But before that, I'll have an image evaluation session for those who came to Wisley and anyone who wants to just join and observe. There'll be an opportunity to see images people made and get some professional sort of critique of those images. But anyway, on the 24th of July will be the close-ups iPhone session. And again, Melissa will be joining me for that. And we'll talk about the native camera, how to get better close-ups, not only with the native camera, but also some of the various apps that are out there, and even some of the lenses that you might be able to add to your phone to make really amazing close-ups with the phone. I've taken images with my big camera, the Olympus, and put them side by side with the iPhone, and it's not unusual to see that you can't really tell a difference a lot of times. So the phone is becoming a legitimate camera that happens to make phone calls.
I like that way round, because it's how I use mine now as well. So the program is fully bookable. Everything that we've just talked about with Charles is on the website, ready for you to book. And because some of the sessions are limited, do get on and book fairly quickly. If you want to be sure of a place at Wisley or any of the other things, do get on and make that booking quite quickly. All of these activities, Charles, we really look forward to working with you and working through the programme. And I thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited to be there in person as well as virtually.
Virtually, yes, I like that one. Bye for now, Charles. Thanks. The final presenter we're going to meet is Polina Plotnikova, who many of you will know for her exceptional flower photography. Polina is both an ambassador for the Lens Baby lenses and very closely involved with the Royal Horticultural Society photographic portfolio. So she will pop in and out of the project as we progress through the year. Hi, Polina, and welcome.
Hello, lovely to be here today.
Good. Lovely to have you with us, and thank you for engaging with the project. The first session that we will see you lead is one about shooting with Lens Baby lenses. These have fascinated me for years, Polina, and some photographers get some really good results with them. But in truth, I've always been a bit hesitant of buying one and knowing how to use it. How might your session help me overcome that fear and feel confident in buying the right lens?
Right, Janet, that's a really good question. But the answer could be rather lengthy, or could be very short and, to the point. Because the thing is, obviously, my general advice would be get your homework done before committing to buying yet another optic. We're all photographers. We know how addictive we could be to, and excited about buying new gear. Lens Baby optics and standalone Lens Baby lenses give you very different special effects. So effectively, you're achieving something while you're shooting without, any sort of post-processing needed. But by the same token, it's really important to figure out which effect suits your particular vision. So what I'm going to focus in my presentation, I'm going to talk about particular effects and which style, which type of flower photography they would really, suit. Of course, it's going to be very subjective. It's my opinion, but I've been shooting with these amazing optics for more than probably 15 years now. So I think I do have a bit to share what would work and what would not necessarily work for particular subject. So that I would say would be the most benefit you can get from the session which I'm leading in June.
Okay, thank you for that. So really, I've got to come along and find out which one's going to work for me. So that's quite good. So let's move on to your involvement with the Royal Horticultural Society and their photographic portfolio. For the last 2 years, Digital Imaging have worked with you and the RHS team as we support photographers in entering the photographic portfolio, of which you're one of the selectors. Our RHS sessions will happen later on in the autumn, but for those who might want to consider entering in 2025, should individuals be thinking about shooting during the summer in preparation for entry later in the year?
Well, unlike maybe some other competitions which do involve flowers or plants as a main theme or chasing seasons or nature, RHS photographic portfolio competition really want you to focus on particular botanical theme. It may not be as literal as classical botanical illustrations, and I really want to make this point, to come across very strongly. It's not necessarily about restricting yourself as a flower photographer, as nature photographer, because we all know that classical botanical illustrations, they are extremely, precise. You're not really sort of allowed as a photographer to express maybe your unique approach. But nevertheless, every single portfolio should have very well-defined botanical theme. We will be judging those portfolios on both your portfolio artistic value, technical value, but also the botanical theme, botanical value, how you really got on with your chosen subject. But the thing is, it doesn't, as I said, it doesn't have to be quite restrictive. It could be flowers of particular region. It could be something about particular color, something which unifies visually your portfolio, but also, as I said, something which does have strong botanical value. Plants, flowers, trees, same family, flowering season, all these things, they could be, put into the botanical theme. And this is what I'm really passionate about, because I've been photographer contributing to this competition myself for probably about nine years now. But I've joined the judging board 4 years ago. I kind of know the life from both sides now. It's all exciting, but one thing which always comes across quite strongly is that when people finally submit the botanical RHS, portfolio, they suddenly realize, actually, I could have done it ages ago, because I do have projects which do fit this particular competition. And don't be put off, don't get scared by this whole botanical scientific side of the requirements, because you can interpret it in your own way.
That's interesting, because I have to say, I thought that it had to be much more botanical than that. So I think that's really refreshing. So if people engage with both Celia's workshops and the events that Charles is putting on for us and is supporting with us, they should, in fact, if they're thinking about it a little bit in advance, find that they've got good work that they can submit to you later on in the year, even if it's only when they come back to talk to you at advisory sessions and things like that. So we can help people along through that process if they want to enter the portfolio at the end of the year. So that's really, really good. Thanks. That's great advice, Pauline. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for the invitation. I'm really looking forward to running sessions on advisory for RHS portfolio competition, and then seeing your entries back at the RHS headquarters next year.
Excellent. Okay, so we'll see if we can get some more RPS people winning those medals and trophies that you supply every year with this portfolio competition.
Can you just please quickly remind those who may not be aware of that, but the final exhibition, the result of this competition, is held at Saatchi Gallery. Photographers, from all over the country, they don't have that much chances, to be honest, to actually exhibit their work at Saatchi Gallery. And this is one of those occasions when you could see your work displayed there. And the result of those advisory sessions, which digital imaging group ran last year and the year before that, they are quite amazing, because we do have quite a few finalists every year who actually attended these portfolio sessions, advisory days.
So it works. So get booking, folks. I say get booking. You can't actually book the portfolio sessions yet, because we will announce those later on in the year. But thank you. I think you've made a very good point about being exhibited in the Saatchi Gallery, because that is such a privilege. How lovely to see your work put up there. So thanks, Polina, and thanks for your time. There are other presentations in the planning that we will add to the programme shortly. We hope to be able to confirm sessions with Cherry Larkham on shooting flower arrangements, and another using Lightbox for flower work. If there's demand, we could set up a special Facebook group or even peer-to-peer online discussion groups. We've done that with other projects, and it seems to work quite well to help each other in that way. We will keep listening to you, and if there is a demand for a particular type of workshop or programme that you want, then we will try and book them for you as we go through the year. But the programme has been designed so that there is something there for everyone, no matter where you live or whichever time zone you're in. If you miss a meeting, then what we will do is we will record them all, and the recordings will be in a central location which you can access at any time. So you can keep up with the project, or you can again pick and mix the things that are important to you. Finally, before we go, I'd just like to talk a little bit briefly about the costs of some of the sessions that you've heard about today. The project is open to everyone, RPS members and non-RPS alike. Everyone is welcome, so I want to make that very clear. However, if you are a digital imaging group member, some of the sessions are free and others are heavily subsidised for DI members. For example, the main Charles Needle session is free for DI members, but if you're not a DI member, then you're going to have to pay. The same with the Wisley workshops that he's running. It'll be extra £10 if you're not a DIG member. So when you look at all the benefits of DI membership and the reductions that you'll get on tickets throughout this project, it's actually easy to see that our £7 digital online membership is good value for money, because you'd recoup that within probably just 2 or 3 of the From Seeds to Bloom project. So if you want to join us, please do. You don't have to. I'll end my sales pitch there. It's your choice. So, DI team hope that this short video has given you a really good idea of what to expect of the project, how it weaves together a good mixture of all styles of work and different techniques. If you type in the short bit.ly URL that's on the screen now into your computer, it takes you to our webpage for full information and booking links. We'll leave that up on the screen for a while so that you can see it and write it down. We look forward to seeing you join us on the From Seed to Bloom programme, and have a good, happy shooting summer. Bye for now.